Christmas.
Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Rusty Nelson, and happy holidays. We are going into the holiday season, and last year I did a whole video on Christmas ideas, and that's basically what this is, an update to it. I've taken some things out, updated some other things, that kind of thing. And basically it's a whole bunch of gift ideas, so grab a big adult beverage or whatever your beverage of choice is and sit back and relax. And I'm just gonna go through, it's kind of long, but you can scrub along the bottom. I'll put the chapters down below if you're on your computer and stuff like that. You can look it up in the description, all the time codes and stuff like that. But it's basically an idea to jog your memory if you may come up with some new gift ideas for people. And also, I'm an Amazon affiliate. Now, I don't ask for money, Patreon, and that kind of stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But Amazon will kick back a little bit to me if you use those links within a 24-hour period. So every time you go through those links, even if you don't buy one of the gifts that I have up here, one of the ideas that I have, I'll still get credit for anything else you buy within that 24-hour period. And I really appreciate it. So there'll be some parts from last year, some parts from this year. But the big thing is this year, I'll be using QR codes. Now, if you don't know what a QR code is, you'll see a little code, like a puzzle-looking thing up there in the corner. And if you just take your phone, put it on camera, and you'll look and you'll see there'll be a link that comes up. It'll zero in on that link. And you can pause it and you can look at it, and it'll take you right to that link on Amazon. Anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate you going through this. Who knows, it may jog some ideas for some Christmas gifts that you haven't thought of. And I covered just about everything from, sports stuff, kitchen stuff, doctoring stuff, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's get started so we can get to the other side of this. This one is going to be just about as easy as you can get. It comes in a nice little gift container. It looks like a snowflake, or you can get it in some other things too. And it is a simple gift certificate to Amazon. And I think you can get them for $25 to $2,000, upwards of $2,000. Anyway, that's about as easy as it gets. It makes it simple. And the person that you're going to give it to, hey, they can buy whatever they want. Let me say before I get started with the first item, I'm going to list all of these items down below. So you will be able to scroll through, and hopefully I'll leave the pictures up long enough that you can scroll through this whole thing if you want to. And like I said, it'll all be in order. I may get one or two out of order, who knows. But anyway, you can scroll through down the bottom. Also, make sure when you order through Amazon, there's a little check mark sometimes where it says take an extra 10% off. Make sure you check for that. Anyway, first one up is this soap dispenser. We're going to start with all kitchen stuff first. And first one up is this soap dispenser. I love this thing. I've had this since the day I moved in here. And it just takes a couple of batteries. I think it's four double A batteries. And you just put your hand under it and it senses it, or I have it in the kitchen, so I just put a sponge under it, when I have my sponge, and just kind of run that underneath it. And so far it's worked out great for me. Yeah, that's a bit. Okay, let's jump to another one. As many of you know, I started that carnivore diet, which I'm cooking a lot of meat, and I ended up looking at a lot of different pans. I'll show you this pan and the next pan. And I've gotten both of them. This is not a pan that's for the lighthearted. You have to season the pan and everything else, the Matford. And here you can see a picture of it running by, but it turns out to be a great pan. I know they're used in a lot of the kitchens. And once I got that pan seasoned, like you see in this picture in this little video, it's, man, they are a sweet pan. And if you're trying to sear a steak, they work perfectly. Actually, I cook it out. I use it out on my grill because it spatters a lot of grease, like anything else if you use it at high heat. But man, great pan. And check out these next pans too. They are brand new, kind of out on the market. A lot of marketing to, a lot of hype, but I decided to check them out anyway. So I figured I'd show them to you. These are the hex-clad pans. Now, I just got these just a little while ago, and actually after I got the Metford pan, and they're supposedly a hybrid. In other words, between a non-stick pan and like a carbon steel pan. You know, if you look on this pattern right here, there is like a hex type of pattern, and it's like slightly raised above the non-stick. So it sears a steak really well. The pans get hot really well. They seem to be even across the bottom, the heat. And the only thing that is a little bit weird from a non-stick pan is the fact that, like, when you're cooking an egg on there, you still need to put like a little butter or something in there to keep that egg, that, you know, sunny side up egg, if you're going to flip it, keep it loose on the pan. As far as sticking to it, if you sear a steak in there really heavy, it seems like it has some of that crust stuck to it. But I'll tell you what, once I put it in water, it just came right off. So I would give them a thumbs up. I wouldn't tell you about them if I didn't think it. I'm going to keep pressing on with these. You know, if you buy them now, they can be returned, I guess, or at least when I bought them, you can be returned into January from Christmas. So anyway, if you have somebody that cooks in the family that's a real cook, this might be something a little different for them to try if you're trying to think of something to gift for them. These next two items I actually use a lot. The first one's a meat thermometer, digital meat thermometer. It's a quick reaction meat thermometer. And this comes with like little things that tell you, you know, the temperature your meat's supposed to be. And I use it on the grill, and I use it inside when I'm cooking a steak. If you've never used a thermometer to cook a steak, I know how to do this. I know how to check for medium rare and all that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you what, it works great. I take this, and when my steak's cooking, I get it up to about 110 degrees when it's searing in that pan, and then I turn it down and I pull it off. By the time I'm done, I got a nice medium rare ribeye. The next item, this thermometer, is really cool. You've seen me use it just checking the heat, the temperature of a pan itself. It's a kind of a laser infrared type of thing, but you can use it for stuff all around the house. When I thought my air conditioner went out, I used it to check the temperature of the air, the vents, what the temperature of the vents were. I've heard of people using them for their pools. I use them to check the temperature of the back of my garage doors. And if you saw the dog video I did, I checked the temperature of the concrete when people were walking their dogs around on the 150 degree concrete. So yeah, both of these are really cool, kind of fun little gadgets to have, not super expensive. For those chefs in the family, Redmond's Real Salt. Now, what makes this so special? This is actually made or mined from the United States out in Utah. And what happened is back in ancient times, long before we were here, the seabeds were out there, and long before pollution and plastics and everything else that's in the seas right now, this mining area for salt, and I believe it's still family owned, this mine in Utah, that it was sealed by layers of ash. So the salt itself is sea salt that's really pristine. The blue one is a fine salt, and the red one is kind of a larger sea salt or kosher salt. So that's pretty much what I use exclusively, and it tastes good. Really good tasting salt. You don't see it, but usually off screen, especially when I'm recording one of these in the morning, you will see me with my hydro flask, and I really like this. I've been using these for a long time, and I'll show you the one I use for my sports stuff, but this will keep my coffee warm to the point where it starts to get almost acidic before it starts to get too cold to drink. And I love this thing. You won't see me without it. Now, I'm going to show you a second link here of a lid that I like better. And this is the old lid that used to be with these. So when I purchased this, I actually purchased it with the additional lid that a knockoff company made to be like this. But you can order this and it comes apart. And if not, you can try the other lid. Love this thing. If you have any wine lovers in the family, I've had this aerator probably for 15 years or so, maybe more. And this is the single aerator just by the aerator itself, and you kind of have to hold it up to pour it in there. But I have it's only a few dollars more for the one with a stand, and it's kind of nice to have out. And I'll tell you what, if you've never tried an aerator, it definitely makes a difference, especially if you're buying that $2 Chuck wine or the Yellowtail. It helps out a little bit, kind of mellows it out a little bit. Anyway, these are really great for that wine kind of person in your life. Or check out this next one. It also is a wine gift. I know there's a lot of people that take wine along with them, but this is kind of a nice little insulated wine carrier. Carries two bottles at once. So that kind of makes it nice. It's got little handles on it. And I use it when we're grabbing some colder wines and taking them off. I put any kind of wine in there, but it keeps them from banging around and stuff. But kind of a good wine gift to continue on with the wine thing. Let's try a drink thing. This may be looking like a real simple shaker, but trust me, if you're somebody that's shaking martinis or shaking drinks, you'll understand this right away. That black cover over there keeps your hands from getting ice cold. And if you've ever shaken a drink, you definitely know that can get unbelievably cold while you're shaking it. This is one of the best that I've found. I used to be a bartender, and I've been using this type of thing for a long time. Here's another one that looks kind of simple. This sits right next to my sink, and I use it for exactly what you're looking at right here. Is you just got a couple of dishes, you wipe them down, and I just plunk them down on there, and it gets air underneath it, and it dries out, keeps things from getting. It's never gotten mildewed or anything for me. It's just this kind of aerated kind of cloth type thing, but it works really well just to dry off a couple of things, and I just leave it sit right next to the sink. If you got somebody that lights candles or that type of thing, this thing is great. It's like an electric match. It's about that long. This is kind of the Tim the Toolman thing. And it fires a little spark across that and holds it on there. And you can charge it with a USB port, but it works really nice for candles and that type of thing. Kind of a fun, cheap gift. And, I like candles every once in a while, so I like having it around. Here's one when I showed my kitchen, I got a lot of questions on, and it is a magnet. They come in different lengths, so you can get them in different lengths, but it's about that long and about that wide, and it sits up on the wall just like this. And it's magnetic, so it holds your knives up against the wall, and it looks just like this. And pretty strong magnets on there, but I really like it. I like having those knives handy and up against the wall, and it goes on with a little bit of like glue, sticky stuff or something like that, but works really well. I think there's some different colors like silver and black, but obviously I use it every day. To kind of sum up the whole kitchen, something that's really important, and that is knife sharpening. I'll tell you what, I bring my knife sharpener. People ask me once a year when I come for Thanksgiving to can you bring your knife sharpener? I'm going to show you two knife sharpeners. This first one right here, this edge grip, this is something that just kind of sits on the edge of the counter and you just pull your knife through it. It's really cheap, easy to use. And I kind of use it to refreshen my knives if I need to, usually pulling it through the fine edge and then put it onto and hone it. And then also there's an electric one. Unfortunately, the electric one I have is a Chef's Choice, but they don't make it anymore. If you can find it, it's a 110 model, but this is a 315. Biggest thing to remember when sharpening knives is they usually sharpen at 15 degrees or 20 degrees. 15 degrees is usually for Asian type of knives and stuff like that, but generally things are sharpened at about 20 degrees. So surprise somebody with sharp knives this Christmas and you're cutting that turkey. Now, we are going to move on to the bathroom really quick, and I have just a few things in here. And then we'll find some other areas to get into. But the first off is this towel rack right here. Now, it is a suction type of towel rack, and it kind of sucks up to the glass. I don't know what it is about the houses in the villages, but there never seems to be The towel rack thing, you might think that they were $5,000 a piece or something like that, because if you ever have a guest over, there's not enough room for towel racks, and they're not as wide as towels are to spread the whole towel out on. So this was my extra towel rack, and I have it just the way it is right here. It's kind of pushed up against the shower glass, and it's fallen 2 years. I think it's fallen off once or whatever, and I just kind of cleaned it off and put it back up. So anyway, if you need an extra towel rack, this might be the one for you. But like I said, it works on suction. It's not glued on. Have you ever looked down at your bathroom and seen that mangled up toothpaste tube sitting there and usually half open and stuff like that? Well, I certainly have. And to kind of control that problem, I got these little silver things. They make a good stocking stuffer, I guess. But so if you got somebody in your family that just can't seem to get the toothpaste tube from being all scrunched up, grab these things, you stick the end of it in after you start using the very beginning of it, and just kind of roll them up as it goes along. And half the time it just sits kind of straight up on the counter for me. Fun little stocking stuffer. Next one's kind of serious. We're still staying in the bathroom. We're still kind of staying on toothpaste. But this time we're going to talk about electric toothbrush. Let me tell you, I promise you, I very seldom almost guarantee something, but if you're brushing your teeth manually and you're not using an electric toothbrush, you're going to notice such a difference in your teeth. In other words, when you use a manual toothbrush, or when I'm out on the road or something like that and I'm stuck using one, halfway through the day, I can feel my teeth starting to get like fuzzy on top of them. Some people say it feels like I got socks on my teeth, And I started using a electric toothbrush, your Oral-B, probably, it's got to be in the early 90s I started. And I did this thing with my dentist, and this is just me. I really don't care which one you use, but we tried a Oral-B for 6 months, and we tried a Sonicare for 6 months. And we put that dye that goes on your teeth afterwards when you come in to get all your plaque and stuff pulled out of there. And it definitely was a better job done by the Oral-B. That's all I can say for me. That's the way it is. And this is the one that I have. This is the one that I use. And I love this thing. You definitely, it tells you, it kind of beeps when you got 2 minutes worth of brushing. So eventually I can almost time it perfectly now, but you just you don't brush, you just kind of rub it over your teeth very lightly and just let the brushes dance over your teeth. I'm telling you what, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And the doctor always says, God, your teeth they're not straight, that's for sure, but she goes, they're always so clean. And so anyway, that's make a definite gift for somebody. Anyway, let's get out of the bathroom for now. I used to use tie roll shoes, and I decided to try these shoes that I got through Amazon, and they were definitely less expensive. And what I did like about them is that they seem to lace up. The laces seem to tighten up a lot better on my feet, but I also liked that they were cheaper. And I've been using them for a little while now, and they seem to be holding up really well. And they're worth giving a try. So if you have somebody in the family that's a pickleball player, you can always order these and then exchange them for a different size or whatever, the way Amazon works. Let's check out a couple more little pickleball things right here. These are 2 different grips that I use on pickleball paddles. If you're not familiar, the grip is actually wound on there, kind of like a tennis racket. Trust me, it is the easiest thing to do once you do it once, and there's plenty of YouTube videos you can go watch to do a wrap. Maybe I'll do one myself, but this is Yonex. I use this, and then I also use the Wilson Pro Comfort. And this can make a nice little gift for, people that play pickleball. Or guys, don't be cheap with your pickleball paddle, man. This stuff is so cheap to put on there, and it definitely makes a difference. These 2 grips right here tend to be kind of keep sticky for me. They're white, so they're going to tell you when they're getting dirty and they're getting old. But anyway, give these a shot. See what you think. Now we're going to kind of jump into the golfing area, and doing that by, these are kind of unique little things, golf balls, and you can actually have them customized. The first one is a little bit, I don't want to say cheaper because they're tideless balls. They're really good balls, but you can put whatever you want on there and customize them. And then the second ones in the gold box are a little bit better golf balls, probably the higher end golf balls of all golf balls. And you can have that printed on there. You definitely don't want to wait till the last second on these because it may take just a little bit of time, but kind of fun little thing. Also, if you snoop around in Amazon there, after you go to this link, you may be able to find one you can actually put a picture on. So you can put a picture of yourself on, your wife, your grandkids, something like that. Anyway, on to the next golf thing. Now, this is getting into the high tech, and I resisted getting one of these for a while, but I finally caved once I started playing a little more golf, and that is range finders. Now, there's about 1,000 of them out there on the market. I'm going to show you 2, and then I'm going to show you another 2. The first 2, the Go, and the rangefinder, the golf rangefinder, they're good. They're going to get you all the thing. They'll give you the minor bells and whistles, that type of thing. And they're actually really pretty accurate. And then there's another 2 that I'm going to show you, and that's these. And these are the higher end ones, and one's made by Callaway, and the other one, which is the cream of the crop. So if you got somebody that needs to have the best of everything, the Bushnell is definitely the upper end, and they're pretty much accurate to a dime all the time, with slope values. And if you have no idea what I mean by that, that's okay, because the golfer in your life will know if that's who you're buying it for. Anyway, there are 4 of them, and you can look those up, kind of decide what price range. So you're ranging about 70, so all the way up to mid 300s, $400 for them. Anyway, take a look at those, and remember, they're always returnable if they're not the right one, but they make a really nice gift if your partner, friend, or whatever you're buying for doesn't have them. Here's some that are kind of fun and not so expensive and customizable. The first 2 are customizable, and then we'll see the second 2 are kind of, you can pick your sports team with it. But the first one, actually the first 2 are towels. One you can get imprinted on there, a name or a saying or whatever you want on there. You can have it customized. These golf towels, and for those non-golfers, is what you kind of use to wash your golf clubs off and that type of thing. The second one is kind of cool. You can actually get a picture put on there. So if you got grandkids or something like that, or you want a picture of your honey while you're out there playing golf, and every time you go to wash your clubs, you can use their face, I guess, on a picture. I don't know why I'm thinking of that. But anyway, that's it. And so those are kind of cool. You may want to order those right away. You can use those links to do that so that you get them here by Christmas. And even if not, you can put a picture of it in an envelope and say, hey, I got you this, waiting for it to come. But anyway, the next 2 are kind of like those tools that you use while you're playing golf. I guess this is, if you don't quite know what a greens tool is, when your ball hits the green, it leaves a mark, and this little tool, which is exactly what I have, you kind of hit it and those 2 little blades come out, and you can use that to kind of pry up the grass a little bit so that you can flatten out the green. And for all you people that don't, when you hit the green and you don't fix your ball marks, shame on you, because then I got to go fix them all. But anyway, these are the ones I have. You can get them for any NFL team if you go to that link. And then also, along with the other towels, you can also get an NFL towel. So if you're ordering this a little late, you don't have time to get one custom made. You can get one with the team on there, and this is the one for the Eagles. So there you go. Use that green tool, folks. I can't tell you how many marks I see on there. Anyway, that's it. Two more golf things. They're kind of fun and not real expensive. For those of you that don't play golf, these are tees. And for those of you that do play golf, these are short tees. And the reason I'm showing these, they make kind of a good stocking stuffer, definitely cheap. But the thing is, we play those 9 holes, so we tee off, and we're using our irons an awful lot off of those tees when you're sitting there hitting from 100 yards, a wedge or whatever you're using. And a bag of these little 1.5-inch tees work out really well because they just kind of get the ball in that right zone without having to shove a 4-inch tee into the ground. Good stocking stuffer. And speaking of golf, I do not get into my golf cart without this. I fill this up with water and ice. Sometimes I even put 2 in there. I also take this in my my regular car. And when I'm on long trips and stuff like that, there's always one of these sitting here. Let me tell you, you put some ice in this thing and put the top on it, it stays cold for a long time. And I'll tell you what, playing pickleball out there when it's really hot, I fill that sucker up with ice and I'll put 2 of them in there sometimes. I'll put some element in there, some mineral salt, potassium, that type of thing. And when it empties out, that ice is still in there. I can fill it up with some local water. And love this thing. Keeps stuff cold overnight. I'll still, if I have it sitting by my bed, it'll be still cold the next morning. Love this thing along with my coffee mug too. We are moving on to health. Now, some of you know, as far as this health thing goes, I've lost a lot of weight being on the carnivore diet, that type of thing. And there's 2 books that I've said that I've read or I listened to audio. I'm going to put them both up here. One is by Dr. Ken Berry and Lies My Doctor Told Me. And the other one is by nutritionist Judy Cho, which is really, to me, was fascinating learning kind of like what's really happening, what's going on when we're eating, and maybe some of the things you don't want to know about the foods that we're eating. But I listen to them both on audio, and I know you can buy paperbacks, but I'll put the links to those in here. Yeah. This little gem is a pulse oximeter. Now, I'll tell you what, when you go into the doctor's office, they'll put one of these on the end of your finger. They're not very expensive. What I liked about this one is that little percentage thing down the bottom kind of tells you, as long as it's above 0.2, that you're getting a good reading on your oxygen level. But I pretty much do that in the morning when I take my blood pressure, just to make sure that everything looks normal. And I'm usually I'm not a doctor, but I'm looking for a reading between 95 and 100, somewhere around there. And speaking of blood pressure, this is the cuff that I use, and it's made by a company called Withings. And it connects into my phone via Bluetooth and keeps a running total, and you can send those things to your doctor if you like also. But what's kind of cool, what hooks up with that within that system is also this scale. And the scale also tracks a lot of other things like your weight and all types of things. You'll have to read on there what it is. But I'll tell you what, for me, it is a real motivational factor, this scale, because when I get up in the morning, I know I'm going to have to stand on that scale. And they say don't do it every morning. But for me personally, I do it every morning simply because the night before, the day before, I sit there and go, as I'm about ready to put that something in my mouth, that ice cream or whatever I'm not supposed to eat, I go, God, I don't want to get on that scale tomorrow morning and look at that. And it keeps a graph right on the scale, keeps track of what you're doing. So for me, it's a great motivational thing. Scale and the cuff and the oxygen every day. For weight loss, for you, when you're burning fat, your body puts out, and I'm not going to get into this too much, but ketones. And that's telling you whether you are actually burning fat. Now, also, I'm sure many of you know that because to reduce inflammation, you've got to reduce your glucose. And one way you can check it is with this Keto Mojo, which I use. And this will check your ketone level and your glucose level. But this is where you actually have to prick your finger. Now, if you want to do it just by peeing on a strip, then you can use these little strips right here, and they call it peeing purple. So the more purple it is, the more fat you're burning in essence. And if it's not, you're probably not burning any fat at all. I'm making that very general, so you need to do your own research on it, but that's basically it. And it's kind of a cheap way to find out, and you'll see how high your glucose levels are by using the Keto Mojo. Now we're going to get into the fun stuff. And when I say fun stuff, I mean electronics, or at least fun for me because I kind of like the gadget thing. First thing is Apple AirTags. Yeah, they're kind of cool, I think. I give you a story. I put mine in my luggage and then it went onto the airplane, and I literally followed it and knew that it had come onto the airplane. So it came onto the airplane. And then when I got off the airplane, I saw it come off the airplane. But I also have one in my car, which I guess if you park down in one of the squares like Brownwood and you forget where your car is, you can always just look on your phone and it'll kind of tell you right where your car is. Or like in this picture, you could put one in your purse or even your keys. But it's pretty cool. I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. I have one in my camera bag in case I misplaced my camera bag, which is well worth it. So all that information is kept, and it seems to work fairly well. Or actually, it works really well. I finally found a vent mount that I like that goes, sticks into my vent. And the cool thing about this is when you drop your phone into it, it kind of grabs around your phone and falls down into it. But then when you pull your phone out, it collapses. So it goes down to being really small. Like this a lot, pretty good. There's different variations. You can probably poke around Amazon and check different ones out, but this one seemed to work really well for me. I get a question a few times about what camera I actually use when I'm out doing my walk-arounds with the camera, and this is the one I switched to. I used to use a GoPro, but unfortunately, when I was out in the sun too long, it would tend to overheat on me, so I switched over to the DJI Action Cam 4, and this is a picture of it. I like it a lot. So far, it's been really good. I also use their DJI wireless microphones also on this, which I really like. Both of them. I like, but I got no real complaints about them. There's always something you don't like, but so far they're working out pretty good for me. Here's something all my friendly villagers should like, my fellow villagers, I should say, and that's this American flag. I usually put this out when appropriate, but it worked out pretty good. I was pretty impressed. You can see it. I have a pond, reservoir thing in the back, or whatever you want to call that thing, and you can see it really good out there at night. So this is recommended. It's not really expensive. And I put it on an Amazon plug, which I'll tell you about here in a second. Here are two surge protectors that I use. The one that's on the left is used for refrigerator, washer, and my dryer, my gas dryer. And the one on the right is just a strip one. And both of them have a high joule rating, but the one that is on the left is made for washer and dryer. So I have one on each of those. And by the way, when I leave and I go away, I unplug those, my washer and dryer, not the refrigerator. But anyway, surge protectors around here are definitely helpful. Now, one of my favorite things is the Echo Dot and the Echo speakers and that type of thing with Amazon. So you can say the word Alexa. I don't want to say it too loud because if you have them, they'll be going off. But these are the different ones. The first one, the smaller one, the Echo Dot, which is small. And as you go into this one, this is a Dot. I have this in my bathroom, so it has a clock in it. And when I ask what the temperature is, if I just ask her to say temperature, she'll tell me what the temperature is outside and then ask me if I want weather, that type of thing. And then you can get up into a little bit larger one and you'll see these. And then these I have actually in my living room, which are the studios. I have a couple of those in there, and there's definitely more sound. I mean, absolutely. Are they the best in the world? I don't think so, but the whole ecosystem, and you'll see I'll talk about a plug next, all works together. It's so easy to do and set up on your phone if you're afraid to do it. Just grab a small plug like I'm going to show you next and stuff gets set up really easy. But the speakers are really nice to have around, because I'll just tell her, play music, and you do, if you have Prime, you do get a lot of music for free. So it's great. Not only that, she tells me I'm hooked into Fox News, and it also tells me I have it set up so that if there's something major that happens at Fox News, an alert, it'll say, ask me, would you like to hear about this story? So it kind of keeps me up to date on that kind of stuff. But let's check out this little plug and tell you how that works. Let's talk, and I get excited about these things because I got them all over the house. The Alexa smart plug, I can see her blinking over there. I have one over there. The Amazon smart plug is actually a great thing, because you can plug that into the wall. You can call it a light. You can turn on a fan. You can turn on lamps. I use that whole system. I'll just say, tomorrow morning, I know I want to wake up at 6:30. I'll say, her name, wake me up at 6:30 to James Taylor, and I'll play James Taylor. Or turn on the coffee pot. Or turn on a light, and turn on a light for 20 minutes, and the timer kicks in. My Christmas lights, my holiday tree type thing in the back is set up to go on. You can set up routines, and they go on at sunset plus 30 minutes. So 30 minutes before sunset. So as it changes all the time, sunset, it adjusts itself to that. And then at 9:30, it turns the lights off. Or I can be in Pennsylvania, and I can turn my tree on or off, or I can turn lights on the house on and off. So it's really a great thing to have, especially if you're a snowbird, because you can kind of control things into the house. I can turn simply by saying, let's go like this: Alexa, tube light out. And it goes out. So it's that simple, because she's actually plugged into it. Alexa, tube light on. Okay. There you go. I can enjoy. Palm tree. This is the palm tree that I have on my back porch, 24/365 all year long. We live on a small pond in the back, and a few of us have these palm trees. There are different types of palm trees, but this is the one that I found that really kind of stands out from a distance, so you can see it. It's kind of bright, kind of nice. I like it a lot. Anyway, make sure that because there's a 7-foot, there's like a 4-foot, and I think there's a tinier one, so you can get 3 of them. This is the larger one that I have on there, so you can take a look at that. And this is the link. I know a bunch of people come by and they actually ask me about it, but this is the one, the palm tree. Almost forgot about this surge protector. This one's kind of cool. I have this at the end of my counter in my kitchen on the island kind of thing that sticks out. And I can easily plug in any USB, it's a charger also. I can plug in other plugs. So it makes it really, really convenient, because it's a charger kind of like on a surge protector. So it's definitely handy, but it plugs over 2 plugins, right? Two sockets on your wall. It covers the 2 sockets. This is a Bosch, what do they call it, professional. It's measuring by laser. And I'll tell you what, the sucker is accurate. When I was hanging paintings and stuff like that, artwork, I used to use it all the time. And you just click it, point it, and it'll give you an exact measurement of pretty much anything. When you're measuring across the wall, or you're trying to put a couch in, or you're trying to figure out whether a bed will fit, anything like that. You just pull it out and point it, and it tells you exactly how far. If you back the end of it up and push the button, shoots across the room and tells you exactly how far. Love this thing. It's a great, fun toy. Not too expensive either. Yeah, that's right. I changed my hat, got a little something to eat, and decided to change my wardrobe. So if you haven't tried these, they're pretty cool. And when I got them, I thought, oh, this is just a gimmick. I'll play around with this a little bit. But I ended up using them a lot. And that's these, they're like glasses, but they have different focal lengths in them. And it also has a headlamp in it. And I still remember the first time I used them, I had a splinter in my finger and I couldn't find it. I couldn't see it, but you know how you can feel it? And I put these on and put the real strong power ones on there. I found it in about 2 seconds. And I've used it for like looking at the back of crazy, and I don't wear glasses, luckily yet. But I'm sure it's coming someday. I keep saying that. But like, the back of a bottle. And when I was working on a tool out there, I used it out in the garage and stuff like that. So not super expensive, but definitely handy to have around. And they are rechargeable. Though they don't work on a battery. And it seems to hold a charge for a really long time. Being a tool guy, this is a gadget that I absolutely love. Somebody bought this for me for Christmas, one of the best gifts I've got. Make sure that you use this link that I give you down below because there's a bunch of them out there where you only get like one battery and stuff like that. But at the time I put this in there, you got 2 batteries, you got the case and all this stuff. And let me show this to you. You just saw a picture of it, but this is it. And it does use what I call speed bits like this. I'll put the links to where you can get some of those, not the little tiny things. And it makes it really easy because these just flop in and out and they are in there sturdy. Also, this changes into a handle like this. But the cool thing is when you press on this, you can feel it vibrating, but it works by just gyroscopically. You can control how fast it goes just by how you tilt it and which way it goes. Cool little gift. And I'll include the links to some of the bits, but for somebody that likes this kind of stuff, this is a great little gift. Now it is time for fun stuff. What I mean by fun stuff, it could be anywhere from ornaments, village decorated stuff, toilet paper, all kinds of things that are just kind of fun. And that's going to kind of round this up probably with the fun stuff. Let's just get started. And I've got the first thing on right here, which is the shirt. And that is, they call it an elf shirt, but it kind of looks Santa Claus-y to me. And the other hat that I had on with the little beanie, and also these kind of fun swim kind of sport trunks kind of thing. A lot of fun and definitely good for the season. You can get, this hat comes in all different versions of it and just like anything else, but you can make your choice. The links are down there. Go ahead and check those out. Moving on. All right, I know I don't do things that are political every year, but I don't do political stuff in general. But for some reason, when I saw this, it just kind of cracked me up so much. And I know one of my cousins is getting this. And so they're Trump socks. So just like hold on to your hair, don't tear it out and start throwing things at your screen or whatever you're going to do. I've seen a lot of Trump goofy stuff like that, but for some reason this just cracked me up. Whoever thought about doing their socks like this. So if you got one of those Trump people in your family that you can't figure out what to get them and you want to buy them something goofy, this is it. Trump socks, and I think you even get a comb with it. Maybe I have no idea. But anyway, Trump socks. There you go. We'll get back to serious stuff now. Or actually, I think the stuff that's coming now is going to be a lot of fun, like little gifts and that kind of stuff. If you got some pet-friendly type people that have pets, these are always kind of fun to give. This cat one is the single page ones where you can pull off a page each day and you have a bad cat kind of thing. Or you can get the larger ones, which I kind of hang on the door, but have a picture of a little puppy on each one. Anyway, you can get variations of all these in different subjects, but this link will kind of take you through to those. And you can pick it depending on what type of person you want to give it to. A lot of fun sometimes. I actually had somebody give me one of these, and it just cracked me up. I guess because it was so pertinent, because when she came out here to visit, I kept saying to her, what day is it? What day is it? And she would laugh at me. She was a school teacher. And she would laugh. She goes, "Oh my God, you really are retired." So she, all of a sudden after she left, she had sent me back one of these clocks. There's a couple of different variations, and the one she got me just had one hand on it, and here's one with the normal hands on it, but still say what day it is. So for us village folks that are retired down here that don't seem to care what day of the week it is, these are great. Kind of reminds me every time I walk out the door what day it is. I have to be honest with you. I was unaware that these items were actually on here, and I just ordered one. I typed it in by just for the heck of it. But here's some T-shirts, different variations. I have the links to these 4 down below, and a hoodie. But they're kind of cool, and they're not horribly expensive. So like I said, I haven't tried these. I haven't seen them yet, but I can't imagine for the price that they're like $50 T-shirts or anything, but they may be fun to send to somebody or give to somebody. And there's a whole bunch of variations of them in there. You can go through one of the links and then kind of fuddle through them and check them out and order something you like. Just another fun idea. Now, I'll show you a picture of this in a second, but if you don't understand it when I show it to you, this won't make any sense at all. And I just thought it'd be kind of funny if you had somebody you wanted to send this to that was maybe coming down to visit, or somebody that already lived here, or as a housewarming gift, kind of a good gag gift. And that is a whole collection of loofahs. Yeah, that's right. I will say, just to say something, as far as the rumors go, I've driven around. I look for loofahs all the time, and I think I found about 3 in 2 years. And when I look at the folks that's in there, I'm definitely convinced that it was there to help find their car. But anyway, here's a good gag gift if you want to send it. Not horribly expensive to do it. Have fun with it. Let me know who you send it to. These are always fun. The ultimate bathroom reader. If you have somebody that spends maybe a little too much time in that bathroom, you might want to get them a little book like this or send it to one of your friends. Just another one of those fun kind of things to throw in the bathroom. Not too big, not too expensive, but can be a lot of fun to read. Here's another couple Villages items. One is for your iPhone type of thing, with on the back of it says Good Vibes, Sunshine, the Villages, Florida. And the other one is, I'm sure you've seen on the back of cars, those little stickers that kind of say where they're from. Well, here's one for the Villages. We've kind of ranked in the world to get our own bumper sticker, I think. Anyway, a lot of fun little things, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in there from the Villages. One thing that's kind of big in the Villages, and I partake in this a lot too, is game nights. And there is one game called Mexican Train with dominoes that people play. And here I've got 2 different types. One is with a standard dots, and the other with the numbers. You can kind of pick whichever one you want. For some reason, I think because people aren't used to the numbers, they kind of like the dots better. And you can make your own choice right there. But they both come in, they got a nice little case and everything that they come in. So it makes for a nice little gift. Here's one that's a little different. In the Villages, we drive around and sometimes we see a lot of these big birds hanging out all over the place and kind of wonder what they are or who they are. Anyway, I believe it's a local person. Paul Clark has written a book about the birds in the Villages, Florida. Might be a little interesting thing if you know somebody that kind of likes that type of thing. Since it's Christmas time, here are a few ornaments that may ring a little bit of Villages cheer. First is a golf cart, which is kind of cool. This definitely deals with the Villages for sure, with some Christmas lights on it. And then there is a Santa Claus riding an alligator. And for the sports fan in your family, this is a link. Of course, I'm going to use the Eagles as my link, but you can use whatever you want. And there is a bunch of other ones once you go to that link of other football teams, which are kind of cool. But go Birds. Here's one more little one. This is a pickleball ornament. I thought it was kind of cool, a little classy, kind of nice if you got a pickleball person in the family. Deck the halls with pickleballs. There you go. That's kind of a fun little, I'm going to say hood ornament, Christmas tree ornament. Anyway, there you go. A pickleball Christmas tree ornament. This, I know a lot of people can relate to because I dealt with this over Thanksgiving Day weekend. A friend that I was out with constantly misplacing their glasses, but I thought this was kind of funny. Check this out. I'm just going to show this video up here because it's kind of hard to understand what they are just by a picture. And I thought, even if you took the keychain link off of there, they could throw this in their purse or put it in their pocket or attach it to their keychain. And they always have these kind of like little readers around with them. Now there's different strengths and different styles, but I guess I felt patriotic and decided to do the one with the flag on it. Anyway, kind of a fun gift for that person that seems to keep losing their glasses or needs something really small when you go out to the restaurants to read the menus. Kind of cool. Fun little gift. And that is it. Let me tell you something. This takes a lot of time and effort to go through this and put all the links in there and all the QR codes and all that kind of stuff and keep it up to date. So I really, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it when you go back through the link and order through the links down below or the QR codes and order it within 24 hours. That way I get a little bit of credit for it, and at least it pays for some of the microphones and all this equipment and stuff like that. So much appreciated. I know a bunch of you did that because you wrote back to me afterwards, and you can use those links all year long if you want. So thank you very much. I hope you are going to have a happy holidays. I'm going to go back up north. Hopefully I'll get a little snow so I can appreciate the weather back down here in Florida. I hope everybody has an absolute wonderful Christmas. If you have any ideas for next year's list, go ahead and throw them in there. I'll be happy to put them in there. If they seem to fit or the links are any good, thank you so much for joining me. And I will either see you back out in the villages or I'll see you back here on YouTube. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful holiday and a happy new year. Remember, December 14th is SantaCon. Be there.